Hello, this is Karen Harmon, the School-Based Access Coordinator for Lincoln Intermediate Unit. I've been asked to share with you the information regarding IEP and STAR and how they communicate with each other. Where does STAR pull the related service information from in IEP Writer? The information is directly pulled from the IEP or the Related Service tab. Related services must be entered correctly in all IEPs for proper communication with the STAR system. When copying from a previous IEP, please be sure that the services are entered in the correct fields. If they are not, you will need to correct before implementing. If this information is not correct, the teacher or therapist will be asked to revise the IEP. Completing the related service section of your student's IEP, section 6, this is the field that we don't want anything in. You need to put all the information in the above fields of how often, the times per week or month, day, whatever it may be, the hours, if there's hours, or if there's minutes, or if it's both. First, the step-by-step instructions to complete this section is you must choose a service from the drop-down. Example, group speech service. You want to make sure that you're picking the group. If it's individual, that you pick speech language individual, OT individual, PT group, whatever it may be that you're providing. The related service intervals in IEP Writer are as follows. The service intervals from the drop down. So if you choose day, a day equals a day, a week equals a week, a month is a month, semester is 20 weeks. A cycle, 6 day is 6 days, a year is a year, trimester is 13 weeks, a quarter is 9 weeks, a cycle, 5 day is 5 days, and a marking period is 6 weeks. If you have 2 times 30 minutes a week that you will be seeing a student, then in the IEP, under the how often, you would put 2. Your interval would be a week. Your hours per session, you can just leave blank. Your minutes are going to be 30. This is the field we do not want you entering anything into. If the intervals on the previous slide don't fall into your category of what you need, then you need to contact Kelly Kyle to see if an additional service or interval can be added. OT therapy individual, 2 times 30 minutes a week. So you pick your related service, and then how often, 2 times a week, 30 minutes. Section, a speech service group, 270 minutes per quarter. A quarter is 9 weeks. So then you would just leave your how often blank, choose quarter from the drop down, and your minutes are 270. Transportation. Transportation should be entered as 2 times a day. And then if you know minutes, you can put minutes in there. This is a time that you could put an exception to use that frequency box, and you could put door to door or round trip. If you need to add, if you're providing both group and individual services, then you must add 2 records. You must add OT individual and then OT group, and then put the frequency into those fields. This is an incorrect entry. It's showing orientation mobility, and they chose the individual from the drop down, but then they wrote into the frequency box individual session per week totaling 90 minutes, and then one 15-minute group. This is a time that the IEP then would be sent back to a teacher or a provider to correct. Related services for nurses, interveners, and PCAs must be entered in the IEP as shown. There must be a statement in present levels and/or SDI section of the IEP stating the need for the service. Example, PCA or intervener has a PCA to assist with self-help, positioning needs, including feeding and toileting. PCA will also help with maintaining communication device, redirecting and intervening to keep student on task. Example of nursing services that should be added under present levels or SDI section is monitoring for hypoglycemia, hyperglycemia, ketones in the urine, seizures, daily meds administered per order. And then that's what you can write in your in the related service section also. Medication dispensation one time a day, possibly 5 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it may be that it would take that nurse to give those meds. Frequency of service must be specific in related service section of the IEP. Daily is not acceptable. You must include a number or minute of hours. The same thing, if this information is not correct, the teacher or provider will be asked to revise the IEP. An example of personal care assistant, 6.5 hours per day. The hours per session field only accepts whole numbers, so you can enter this as 6 hours per session and then 30 minutes per session. So you would put a 6 here and then your 30 here. When the IEP is generated, the system will convert the hours to minutes to the total minutes that are in there. Or you can enter 390 minutes in the minute session field. Uploading IEPs to IEP Writer. For LIU 12 generated IEPs, the IEP Writer, the teacher or service provider is responsible to now upload the signed signature pages into IEP Writer within 5 days of the meeting. For district-generated IEPs, the service provider is responsible to request a scanned signed IEP via email and then upload to IEP Writer. How to upload an IEP or other documents into IEP Writer. Go to the Forms and Letters tab in IEP Writer. Uploaded Documents tab. Choose File to upload from your saved files, and then pick the type of form from the drop-down menu. Document date, uploading IEP using the IEP meeting date or the date of the document that you're uploading. This date, document date, will always populate with today's date. You need to make sure you're changing that date to the meeting date or the document date. A reminder regarding the school-based access program. If a student has medical assistance, please send Karen Harmon, the school-based access coordinator, an email with the finalized signed IEP and signed parental consent within 5 days of the meeting. The documents can be scanned and emailed to Karen and or uploaded to IEP Writer. IEP must be finalized within 3 days of the meeting. If the parental notice embeds into the IEP after the procedural safeguards, then there is a signed parental consent on file and there is no need to get a parental consent for the school-based access billing signed. If there is no parental consent on file, then make sure that the parents sign a parental consent if they have medical assistance, and that they check or initial on the line that states, "I have read and give consent." If parents do not give consent, then just write across the form, "Parents would not sign," and send that back if they have MA. Anytime you make a change to related services for MA students, the complete revised IEP must be sent to the school-based access coordinator with the signature pages or uploaded to IEP Writer and uploaded. This is really important because if a provider is starting to log services and it was one time 30 minutes a week group, and now they're going to be seeing the student one time 30 minutes a week individual, that makes a difference. We have gotten authorization for that one time 30 minutes a week group, and if it changes and they're doing individual, then we're not in compliance with what we got authorization for. Contact information, you can reach Karen Harmon at the listed number, and Kelly Kyle, who is the administrative assistant to the assistant director of special ed. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call.